the end zone! Touchdown Bulldogs!
The Dogs win the GLIAC tournament title.
Well, that's how you get it started right there.
I want to give the teams and athletes the freedom to be creative.
I think that's something we rally around as a team. We're out there no matter what the weather is.
We just do a good job of eating it up and using it to our advantage no matter what.
I got a lot of pride in being a Bulldog. I think it's awesome.
You're listening to Behind the Bulldogs, brought to you by Ferris State Athletics.
It's Behind the Bulldogs, Season 4, Episode 7. Myself, Joe Nagy, Brandon Worth to my left, in the studio, having a good time. It's November 1, the time that we're recording this. Let's just have a great episode because it is a good episode. We got a banger for you, folks.
Absolute banger. Ferris State women's soccer players Jessie Bandyk Payton Price stopped by the show talking about life on and off the pitch. You're going to enjoy that one for sure, as well as a great Ferris State sports recap. A lot to recap, a couple losses and a couple big wins. We'll go over that here in just a bit, as well as a Ferris State sports slate to round out the show at the end of the episode as well. Yeah. So it's going to be a good one.
So let's get right into it. Football, gridiron, American International. Brandon, one word, dominance.
Dominance, and that's what we expected from this game. 56-0, we beat the Yellow Jackets of American International in the first ever meeting between the two schools. We really jumped out in a hurry against this team. We were able to put up 21, I believe, at least in the first quarter, but I think it was even the first 10 minutes if you want to be specific. But I think dominance was definitely the word. It definitely felt like our game from the very start. American International, a team that's still kind of trying to find their mark as a program overall, came in this game with only 2 wins. But for how we played, especially, we were able to put a lot of new guys in there. We saw some great things overall from the offense, saw us over 400 yards total. And especially from defensively, I thought we had a really good performance. 6 turnovers from that defense. That's been a performance we've been really waiting to see from that secondary and from that pass rush, and especially those guys at the backer position. They played really good, and that was a really good get-back game after kind of what was a really tough game last week up in Houghton.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what we really like to see. 21 first downs compared to American International's 11. Only went 3 of 8 on third downs, but keep in mind, we really didn't see third down all that often. So that's what you can really look into. That 445 yards of total offense, 232 yards of passing, 213 yards of rushing. Can you say equal? Because I can. That's what we like to see because we were able to spread it out, get some guys in, played very well.
Absolutely. Moving over, a split up in Marquette for hockey. Win on Friday night in an absolute banger of an overtime. 2-1, Caleb Ergang nets the winner. Fortunately, falling to the Wildcats 4-1 in that Saturday nightcap, but especially for getting a split against a really good Northern Michigan team that loves offensive, just firepower everywhere, and especially being able to hold them especially for, I believe it was at least 4 periods to only 1 goal. That's a big win in the book. Obviously, you would love to be able to leave Marquette with 6 points instead of 3, but still, it was a really good performance from that defense. They only had a little bit of a period of let up, but other than that, though, still much better than we've done historically in the past up at the Barry Center.
Yeah, absolutely. Noah Giesbrecht, game one, getting 31 saves on 32 shots, and then you had 24 saves on 27 shots from Logan Stein. So I think that's some pretty solid improvement. We've been kind of waiting for that from Stein so far. It's just the offense was not as, productive as you could say that second line, which, that happens. Sometimes you just have one of those games when you're playing hockey. Happens. But we got St. Louis coming to town, and then we got Minnesota State after that, also in town. So a 4-game homestand coming up.
Yeah, it should be really good. Really, the only difference you can say, we were 2 for 2 on the penalty kill, I believe, on Friday night. Saturday
was it 2 for 5 or something like that?
Yeah, we weren't very good as much on the power play, on the penalty kill against the power play, but we can definitely get back at home against St. Lawrence. We hope you see y'all there at Angle Glade. It's going to be a good one.
We have stuff to work on. So that's the important part.
That's true. Great teams always have stuff to work on.
That's true.
That's the thing we got to learn at the end of the day.
That is true.
It's good. So anyway, going over to soccer, speaking of which, a tough doubleheader up north at Houghton and Marquette. 1-0 losses to the Huskies and the Wildcats. Played really good overall in that game. Not necessarily the best, obviously, being able to not able to leave without 2 W's. But at the end of the day, we played them really tough. It was just the other teams had a brace. Our offense just didn't quite have the answer, and that's really all it was to it.
Yeah, and I think we just really couldn't get solid looks. Game 1 against the Huskies only got 3 shots on goal. They got 8 shots on goal.
Yep.
So that's just a tough thing when you got that constant barrage. And I think it was pretty much the same situation for the Northern Michigan game. They had 13 shots on goal, I think it was.
Yeah, they're good.
And
offense.
we only had 2. So got to set that up just a little bit. And with Saginaw we have to go to Saginaw for Thursday tomorrow because it's Wednesday by the time we're recording this.
Correct.
Yeah, Wednesday,
yes.
November 1. We will see how they do in that game. I would say this one is going to be one where they'll be able to bounce back, especially with GLIAC tournaments coming up on Monday. Definitely want a little bit of a spark before postseason.
Absolutely. Moving in quickly before the interview, we got women's volleyball. Unfortunate 5-set loss at Kenosha against the Rangers. Yeah, it happens. I think that's really all you can say about it. I mean, this team was playing on an absurdly high level. Unfortunately, just had a little bit of a hiccup, and that's really all you can say about it. Kenosha, got to give them credit. They're a good team. Also, like a lot of people are like Parkside. Yeah, they're number 3 in the GLIAC overall, only behind GV and us. So they have played really good volleyball, and they were able to get a really good breakout game at home. And we just weren't necessarily on our A game at the end of the day. And you know what? That just happens to some teams. And I know this team's going to bounce back. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, for sure. It's incredibly difficult to go undefeated in conference or just overall in any division of college. And this just happens. I mean, it's not like it's going to derail the season or anything. Coach T is going to get us right. The players are going to get us right. We're going to be ready to go to Grand Valley, take the second one of the Anchor Bone Classic, and then go on to Purdue Northwest that following Saturday.
Absolutely. To finish out with good performance there for men's golf over at the Kentucky Wesleyan Invite. They did get the Kentucky Fried Chicken there,
They
Joe.
did.
Got a second place finish. Caleb Bond got, I think, his own bucket of chicken for an individual medalist spot.
Family bucket, too. Everybody eats.
Everybody eats for that. So congratulations to him. Back-to-back weeks. A GLIAC golfer goes to the Bulldogs with Cameron Shannon last week.
Automatic. It's just automatic at this point.
Yeah, it was certainly fun. Also, shout out to the alumni that were at the alumni men's basketball game on Sunday. Certainly fun to see the highlights of that. Pre-ranked number 1 in the GLIAC as well as women's number 2. So
saw Chloe Adoni was preseason player of the year.
Yeah, Ben Davidson also preseason first teamer. So pretty good stuff here from the
accolades on accolades.
Yeah, cool stuff for basketball. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to send you to the interview room with Jessie Bandyk and Payton Price.
Yeah, so let's stop waffling around and swing it to the interview.
Now joining us here on the show, Jessie Bandyk, Payton Price of Ferris Soccer. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So first question, obviously we're getting a little bit colder out. We were talking a little bit before the interview started. What's it like kind of getting ready to practice, to play, and just deal with being outside in the cold playing soccer?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in Michigan, the fall maybe lasts like a week. So that adjustment, it goes from like 75 to snowing, sleet, 30 degrees. So I think just that adjustment we've dealt with in the past. I think that's our biggest strength, is the fact that we can just deal with the elements, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's just been like a clicking time bomb. Like, because I feel like last season, that's all we played in, honestly. Because I felt like postseason, like when we were doing the national tournament and everything like that, it was all snow, sleet, cold weather. So
Bemidji.
Yeah, Bemidji. We're just
gross.
Yeah, the nightmares are coming back after snowing this morning. Yeah, but I mean, especially with you guys getting the new locker rooms, and one of the notable things that was seen was that your motto was put up onto the wall of the right to play in bad weather, especially for you guys as a team. What is it about playing in the elements and just every single imaginably bad element to play soccer in is where you guys find the most success?
Well, I think when it's bad weather, it kind of comes down to grit. I think our team has a lot of that. So when it comes down to grit, we tend to come out on top, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, also like coach always is just like explaining how we have to deal with adversity and things like that. And I think it's more so a mindset of you're going to this game, you got to like deal with the controllables, basically. You can't deal with the weather. Like we don't know what's going to happen. So it's kind of just like dictate what you can. The ball's going to go sliding around everywhere. You're probably going to go sliding around everywhere. It's just kind of deal with what you can and get the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your least favorite part about playing in that gross, disgusting weather?
My extremities, for sure. Can't feel them.
Can't feel the phalanges at all.
It's
to go to urgent care after.
Definitely my feet.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare to play? I mean, especially for obviously soccer being like predominantly you're using your feet all the time, but even throw-ins and stuff. I mean, if you can't feel your fingers, like how do you guys prepare for that? Like hand warmers or
Yes.
Last year
hand warmers.
Yeah, last year in Bemidji, we had feet warmers, hand warmers. We were sticking hand warmers like in our sports bras. Like we probably each had about 10 on us.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the toe warmers, but they wouldn't work.
No.
None of it works.
At the end of the day,
it's just going to be
more of a placebo effect at that point.
Yeah.
I was going to say, kicking a soccer ball at that with temperature is going to be like a cinder block at that point.
No, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah, I could not imagine. But especially for you guys, obviously, GLIAC is going to be coming up here, and with the postseason, especially for how your guys' seasons went, what are some of those things that you're looking forward to maybe getting a little bit better at over the next couple weeks, and what are you hoping to really get going into this tournament and getting some momentum here at the last game of the regular season coming up Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, I think playoff time is just a whole different ball game. Like, obviously, another thing that's happened to us a lot in the season is we've tied a lot of games, which is not great. We struggle to put the ball in the back of the net at times, and
every tie to us
is a loss. It feels like a loss.
Sure.
Sometimes you tie, it feels like a win. For us, when we have tied, it has felt like a loss.
Yeah. So I think the fact, too, with playoffs, like, you can't tie games. Like, you need to go into overtime. There's going to be a shootout if you keep tying. So I think that will hopefully turn into our favor, or, like, at least I think we've also been trying out a lot of new, like, formations and different people, combinations of people. Yeah. So I think kind of finding the right niche for us is the goal.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking again before we turned the mics on, but you guys got to have like a little soccer house going on now. What's it like being able to just be with your teammates another little bit of the day, just basically 24/7?
Yeah. I mean, I like it because obviously I've lived with Peyton my entire time here.
Since
we came in together.
Dorms,
We've been together, dorms, Campus Creek,
for
and now the house.
Yep. And then this house, there's 7 of us girls on the team.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. And it's a great time. Honestly.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's just nice to have a change of scenery too from Campus Creek. Like we lived there for 3 years, so
it's nice to come back from practice, debrief, just hang out. You're never bored. That's for sure.
What's the biggest difference between apartment living and being in a house?
Excessive garbage accumulation.
That's so true, though.
Yeah, that is so true.
We've had to contact the city to get out of the garbage can.
I have talked to the lady that works.
It does get out of hand.
Yeah. That also...
It's nice because we can have our entire team over.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't feel crowded. Like, we will have our team over a lot on Sundays. We'll, like, get together, whatever. And it's nice because we're not all crammed into a little tiny family room in an apartment. So.
Yeah, for sure. And especially for you guys, a very competitive team as it is on the field. But then if you guys meet up at the house, does it get a little more, is there ever like board games where, there could be potential pawns being thrown against the wall, or is it a little too competitive?
Definitely.
I mean, we just have some really strong personalities on our team.
Yes,
Sure.
But
every team does.
It works. Like, I think the good thing about our team is I think everyone, obviously we all love each other, but everyone's kind of found their little, like, not clique, but their group of people that they, like, just collect around. And I think that's what we found even in our house. Like, we live with a few, like, juniors and stuff. So just younger girls, too, that, like...
We have like 3 different grades.
We have 3 different
class.
Yeah.
Or in our house, I mean. So
I think we just kind of know the tendencies of some individuals. Know how to deal with it.
We're pretty tight.
We're close.
Yeah, we can read each other. So if things get too intense, we know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the bigger person.
You can go back to your rooms and shut the door.
I'll go up to my room for the next 10 minutes.
That's fair. Yeah, I know personally, short story, that my house at one point with the Cross guys, we were playing Catan one night and ended up getting thrown into the window. So I just figured I'd ask that question, but no, that's fun. That's cool.
I was gonna say, me and my roommates play Mario Party. We're not even athletes, but it gets pretty crazy.
Mario Party, of course.
Yeah, sometimes. So obviously the postseason coming up, gonna have to travel for one of the games. What's it like to, basically just get on the bus? What's some remedies that you have to kind of maybe minimize what it's like to have those hours on the bus and just having to, sit around for the travel?
Oh, well, a lot of our team really likes TikToks. If that's what we're talking about pastimes, our team loves to make TikToks.
Yeah, that's where we do our TikTok digging. We will make TikToks. Or for me personally, I feel like I'm so busy. Like, I mean, we're pretty busy people every day. So sometimes when I get on the bus, I'm like, 5 hours to sit and do nothing. Sometimes I won't even sleep. I'm just like, I can just sit here.
Snack stash.
Snacks.
Homework.
Sometimes we'll talk.
Yeah, sometimes we'll chat. We do a lot of talking though. So I don't know. I guess
I don't
relax.
mind.
I do a lot of homework too on the bus, honestly. Like we are busy gals and I feel like downtime is a lot of the time just homework.
Yeah. I don't mind the long bus rides, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned snack time. It's just past lunch. Now I'm feeling hungry, but I have to ask, like, what's some of the go-to snacks on the bus rides? Do you guys always share snacks, or is it necessarily everyone has their own?
We have like a tub in the front of the bus.
Okay, yeah.
We have like Rice Krispie treats,
Pop-Tarts,
bags of chips, fruit snacks. Like, of course, water.
Yeah. And then everyone usually brings their, like, favorite snack, and then we're like...
The go-tos,
Yeah.
We'll share.
Little black market trade going on.
Caramel apple pops.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, no. It's so good.
Or, like, parents will bring, like,
Brownies.
some of the girls' treats after the game, and we're, like, passing it around.
Drop the care package off.
Yes.
That's always a good time. It's always a good time.
Things in life.
For sure. But especially kind of transitioning, obviously, you guys student athletes, talk a little about the athlete part, but the student part as well. And Jessie, I understand you're in business as well. Payton, you've been engineering. I mean, just talk about your guys' academic experience as well and juggling that with practices and games along the way, too.
Me personally, I think being a student athlete has helped me in my academics. I think, like, it has motivated me throughout the years to get the good grades, you know, because our team has always had like a high cumulative GPA. So that's always like, you know, kind of pushes you a little bit. And then just like, I mean, we have games on the weekends. We don't go out much, like, you know, so, I mean, we have the weekends to study, do homework, really focus in, and like, honestly, just being like living with them. We're always downstairs at the table doing homework, whatever, studying, and I don't know. It's definitely pushed me to do better.
Helps keep you grounded, Kev.
Yeah. For sure.
And I feel like athletes, I've noticed, just do have a certain type of personality of just like almost an intrinsic motivation to like get things done. I know I'm not saying everyone I've met is like fully motivated, but I know like a lot of us are just driven to like get our things done regardless of like external factors. We just like want to get good grades for the sake of getting good grades. I think also, like for me, I did a bachelor's in finance and now I'm pursuing my MBA. I think it's just like my time here, now that I've taken my 5th year and stuff, I'm just like pushing to like go make some use out of like still being here. You know, obviously want to get my MBA and get more out of being here at Ferris and academically and stuff. So
for sure, having that time management kind of really taught to you with sports, certainly for sure a major factor.
What are you guys trying to do after, especially with your degrees? Going for an MBA and stuff. Like, what's the plan for when you have to hang up the cleats?
I will. Loaded question. First, my mindset is speaking back onto weather. I want to get out of Michigan, hopefully.
Oh, okay.
Just for I love Michigan, but I think for a certain amount of time, just like maybe experiencing some sunshine year round.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like with my major, finance, I feel like there's a lot of opportunities just in the business world. It's not really like centralized into a specific industry or area. I feel like you could work for multiple different companies. So I guess there's opportunities anywhere, and I guess it's more of where do I want to go is the question.
Yeah, big time. I think it's reasonable that you don't want to wake up in October midway through and have 4 inches of snow. I think that's normal to think.
Thank you.
Respectable. Respectable.
For me, I don't actually know where I want to live yet. I think I'm just gonna go where the wind takes me.
That's respectable too.
But I have done an internship on the east side of Michigan for the past 3 summers, and I did get an offer there, but you know, it doesn't hurt to keep looking for jobs, and I definitely, that's what I've been kind of looking into is different jobs and where I can go, and I don't know, stressful times.
Yeah, for sure.
Time to be high demand. Female engineer.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It does help.
Impressive.
Does help.
They'll be knocking on your door.
That's what I'm saying.
Plenty of offers on the table for sure. But thank you both ladies for coming on the show. Last question for you. We love to ask all the athletes and staff we bring on the show. What's your favorite thing about being a Ferris State Bulldog?
I'll go first.
Oh, you go first.
Oh, you answered quick.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
You had that one in the chamber real quick.
Do a coin flip real quick.
I'd piggyback off of that. Like, I think it's just the whole athletic environment. Like, we're very close with all the athletes here, and it's nice. You see everyone on campus. You're like always running into someone, saying hi. Like, I just think it's a very family-oriented place, personally.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, just even going back to why I came here in the first place, personally, I made the decision for a number of factors to come here, but like it was mainly because I felt like the culture with the team and the girls, and just even noticing when I came on my visits, their relationships with other teams, and like how it just did, like Peyton said, feel like a family environment. So I think it's just an honor to be a part of the Bulldog community.
Yeah. So cool.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, both of you. And hopefully you guys do well with GLIAC postseason coming up and make a long run.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Big shout out to Jessie and Payton for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any other great interviews coming up, as well as great episodes altogether. Before you go, we'll give you the Ferris State Sports Slate here, courtesy of FerrisStateBulldogs.com. Starting on Thursday, women's soccer at University Center against Saginaw Valley State. They'll play against the Cardinals at 1 p.m. Over on Friday, men's basketball is in action at home. They're going to be hosting Calvin at 5 o'clock in Wink Arena. Be there, be square. Women's volleyball at Grand Valley State, down in Allendale, 6 o'clock first serve there. And men's ice hockey, 7:07, St. Lawrence, Ingle-Glaben. That's going to be a good one. Joe, hit us with Saturday.
All right, November 4th, here's what's coming at you. Men's cross country, Brandon and the crew is heading to the Midwest Regional, along with women's cross country as well.
Yes, sir.
Love to see you, Brando. Hopefully you run well. Football is going to be at Davenport. 12 p.m. kickoff. You can check that out on Flow Sports or listen live for Rob and Sandy on that call. Women's volleyball is at Purdue Northwest at 3 o'clock. You can check that out on Flow Sports. Men's ice hockey is closing out the 2-day double dip against St. Lawrence at 6:07 puck drop. Very much looking forward to that game. It should be 2 wins. This team is going to go on a roll. You can count that. Put it at the bank. And then women's soccer, starting off the GLIAC tournament quarterfinal, TBD, where they're going to be playing App. That's going to be Monday on the 30th.
Yeah, projections will probably say they'll be on the road either way, but you can still follow along with the game, FerrisStateBulldogs.com for that information as well. But before we go, I mean, especially with this loaded schedule we got here, Joe, what's the main matchup that you're eyeing up here from this Ferris State Sports Slate?
Well, you know me. I mentioned it before that I was looking for hockey to get a sweep. I think it's very doable to do so this weekend. St. Lawrence is coming to town. I think it's going to happen because if you look at St. Lawrence's schedule so far, they are only, I think, 1-4-1. Their only win was their first game of the season against RIT, who's not a very good team in their own right. And then you also lost to Lake Superior State. You also lost to Michigan Tech, tied to Michigan Tech at St. Lawrence. And hockey, I feel like you can take a lot of good things out of that Northern Michigan game, especially you're coming back to host it. I think you're going to be doing really solid in front of a home crowd that's ready to cheer you on, and for some good wins to come up, especially with Minnesota State coming up. Hockey's getting the sweep against St. Lawrence. That's my call.
Good call, partner. I would, of course, talk about regionals, but being a little biased about that, of course, you're gonna see some raging times from Angel Mountains. I can promise you that. I'm really looking forward to see how soccer plays at Saginaw Valley. That'll be a big game, especially momentum-wise going into the GLIAC postseason. I mean, that's a really big game for them. I mean, especially determines seeding on who they're going to play. So obviously want to get as high up as we can in the standings so we have a favorable matchup. But it's going to be a fun one nonetheless. On the whole Ferris State Sports Slate, you can catch us every single week to find out more, as well as more interviews with staff, players, and coaches coming up on Apple, Spotify, and even on YouTube. You can check out best bits and full episodes from the show, and there's certainly going to be some great ones coming up. But until next time here on Behind the Bulldogs,
take care, everybody.